What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are taking a look at a little bit of a news update. Breaking news: we have a trade here between the Nashville Predators and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Obviously, you guys know from the thumbnail, Ryan Mcdonagh goes to the Nashville Predators. He is the big piece of this trade. On paper, if you just saw this trade for what it is, you'd say Nashville won this trade by a long shot. But if you look at Tampa's current situation, cap wise and stuff like that, this does seem like more of an even trade than what appears in the notification for the trade. So we'll talk about the details of that trade today. So what really started this whole thing off, which I wasn't going to make its own video for this trade, but now it makes more sense. So Nashville cleared up some cap space and really a roster spot. That's really what this deal helped them do. Nashville acquired a 2022 fourth-round pick from the Columbus Blue Jackets from Matthew Olivier, and that happened at the end of June. And that's a trade that kind of came out of nowhere, but again, it's creating another roster spot. Then we see the Tampa Bay Lightning, all those rumors the next day coming out about McDonagh, right? After, Tampa Bay is probably going to have to trade Ryan Mcdonagh, which I made a video about yesterday. And now today, we've obviously gotten more information. Nick Paul signed an extension, 7 years, $3.5 million per season. A little bit high, but again, kind of setting the table for this situation, which inevitably leads to us here on June 3rd at 1:50 p.m. Eastern. The Tampa Bay Lightning have traded Ryan Mcdonagh to the Nashville Predators. McDonagh is from St. Paul, Minnesota, so he comes a little bit further up north of the United States. McDonagh's salary is $5.46 million. Again, his base salary has been $8.4. That concluded this season. It's $5.46 this season, but it also has 4 more years left on it. So that's this season up until 2026. This will be Ryan McDonagh's contract. He has a no trade clause, and in the final year of his deal, he has a modified no trade clause. He submits a list of 12 teams he would not accept a trade to. So when you look at this whole scenario here for McDonagh, this is obviously a tough blow for the Lightning's defense. You look at how good he's been with, that shutdown pairing between Ryan McDonagh and Erik Chernak will no longer be there next season. Tampa obviously relieves themselves of $5.6 million, $6.75 on the cap hit, so that's a lot of money saved for them. They re-signed Nick Paul. They also, and looking at this from, obviously for Nashville, they pick up a defenseman that's won 2 Stanley Cups in the past 3 years. He was really good in New York. He was a captain for the Rangers. You look at his, really this is a guy that was drafted 12th overall back in 2007. So he's been around the league for a while. He's got over 300 points in almost 800 games in the National Hockey League. He's got 64 playoff points. He's played almost 200 games in the postseason. This is what Nashville needed. They needed a veteran defenseman that can play. And maybe he's not there till 2026 as a legit defenseman. Maybe he is. Hopefully he is, right? But McDonagh is a guy that's going to add some stability on that back end. And that's one of the big critiques I had for Nashville this past season. They didn't have the defense. I hate to say it. Mark Borowiecki was playing top 4, and Dante Fabro hasn't looked that great. And, other than Yossi, that defense looked pretty stale. William Carrier had a great season, but that only goes so far. And I think that when you add McDonagh, he's going to make other guys on that team better, and he's also going to allow guys to play in a spot where they're more fitted. So instead of a defenseman being a second pairing defenseman, maybe he moves to a third pair, but he's a lot better in that position. I think that's a great trade for the Predators in that sense. They have the salary cap, they have the money, they have one of the highest, amounts of cap space in the NHL. And they make a big trade here. They have the cap space. We knew they were going to be busy this summer trying to make trades to improve the team. And hey, you know what? They might look like a more attractive option to a UFA this summer, saying, hey, listen, we're already bringing in guys like Ryan McDonagh who have won in the past, and we could add you, and you're the piece that will allow us to get to that next level. And I think that Nashville will be able to sell that, but this is a huge trade in that perspective for the Predators. For Tampa, they pick up Philip Myers and Grant Mismash, which obviously is getting a lot of attention. Grant Mismash, he is a former 2017 second round draft pick from the Predators. He's 23 years old. He is another guy from Minnesota. So imagine